Good afternoon, sports fans. I'm Jason Malloy, sports editor at The Guardian, joined by columnist Fred Fiddler McDonald, and we're on location outside here at the historic Red Shores of the Charlottetown Driving Park. Freddie, we've been away for a couple weeks. I've been away. It's good to be back. Yesterday we had the announcement of the field for the Gold Cup and Saucer. What were your big takeaways from the field?
Well, I was hoping to see the maritime-based horses draw the inside, like the rail or post position 2, but in both draws, the maritime horses drew the outside, and that is very unfortunate. But that's the way it goes in horse racing. You put your name in, you do an open draw, and that's what happens. That doesn't mean they're not going to make it. You never know in a horse race. I watched the Hamiltonian on Saturday afternoon from the Meadowlands. The heavy favorite in the first race, Wolfgang, with PI connections, really, he ended up, didn't make it. And then in the other division, six-pack, a 2 to 5 choice, did not make the elimination either. So you don't know in a horse race. It's nice to sit back and say, yeah, I'm sure this is going to happen, that's going to happen, but we don't know. They're horses, they're sick that day or a bad day or get run in a, nobody knows, or somebody comes up with a super effort. You just don't know. So we look like it looks like 2 very solid eliminations, and it looks like a bang up Gold Cup and Saucer for the following Saturday, not this Saturday, a week from this Saturday. Just
no guarantees in a big race like this. You don't know how the horses are doing, which driver's going to be hot that day, eh?
That's right. Well, the horse is sick or something, and he's not feeling good. You can't pick up the phone and say, listen, Jason, I don't feel good today. Would you mind telling the owner-trainer not to put me in? They don't know. They give signs out, and they may come up with a bad performance. Could be an broken equipment. Could get bad luck during the race, get locked in or something like that. You just never know. Too many variables to guarantee anything is going to happen in the horse race. Not possible. The only guy that ever picks winners consistently, I pick one for the Governor's Plate for you. Well, you stay around next week, and I might pick the Gold Cup and Saucer winner for you with a little luck.
So you're suggesting that next week on this very video, you will say who you predict to be the winner at the Guardian Gold Cup and Saucer.
That's right. And you know the nice thing about it? When I sit back and I see that sign up there, the Guardian Gold Cup and Saucer, it brings back fond memories. The Evening Patriot was for many years, the official sponsor of the Gold Cup and Saucer. And that's the way it was. And the Evening Patriot and the Guardian have played an enormous role in the emergence of the Gold Cup and Saucer, one of the great races. Over 60 years of covering it, the Guardian and the Patriot have done a magnificent job, from Bill Hancock and Pius Callahan right up to Gary McDougall and now Dave McKenzie. So you got to sit back and say, listen, only for the Guardian and Patriot, they play a major role, boys. Let's give them thanks.
And you told me earlier that you're planning on writing a little bit about that history in this Saturday's column.
That's right, absolutely. You'll have to buy Saturday's column to find out, providing you give me enough space.
Always a challenge. Last weekend there was a big baseball tournament in town, the Canadian National Old Timers Baseball Championship. You told me you got a chance to get out to Memorial Park and see some of the action.
The only place I went was the Memorial Field, so I didn't see the Charlottetown team playing any more than 3 or 4 innings. But you got to give thanks to Alfie Blanchard and Dave McIsaac and Ronnie Hennessy. They did a tremendous job in organizing this event. 34 teams from all over Canada, really. And when you sit back and look at it, there were tremendous baseball. I watched the teams from Ontario down at the park on 3 o'clock on Friday. There were more like very good senior teams. They're over 35. No, these guys were not old timers. Same, I hear reports from the Nova Scotia teams. Yarmouth and Nova Scotia, they had 2 entries. They were more like a senior team. They were very good, not heavy, not guys out of shape. These guys have been playing in the league all along. So it's a little misleading, old-timers. A lot of tremendous baseball. Now, I give Ronnie Hennessy and those guys, and Dave McIsaac and them credit. Their team in Division 2 ended up winning. Good for them. If you were in the city of Charlottetown or anywhere near Charlottetown in the last 2 weeks when that old-timers baseball tournament was on, it was jam-packed everywhere in the city. Jam-packed. I couldn't believe it. Everywhere you go, you were talking to people that were here for the old-timers tournament. I come to the track that night. I ran into 6 or 7 families that never had racing before. They don't see it in their home province or near where they could see it live like this. And then you got the facilities here like Red Shores. You got fabulous food services. absolutely magnificent atmosphere. What a place to promote harness racing is right here. So it was fabulous. The ballpark, Memorial Field was in great shape. City boys did a great job in that. I didn't hear all the diamonds were good. All I heard about the baseball was great reports.
Absolutely. I didn't get a chance to see all the action. I got a chance to see the City Jays play in the 35-plus division. One of 3 teams in that division from Prince Edward Island. It just goes to show you what type of ball talent is around when 3 different teams can be competitive. You know, Stephen Burt threw 3 solid, great innings. You know, he just pitched his heart out there in that Sunday night game with their chance of moving on the line. Kept his team in it. Had a couple bad luck later on in the game, and they end up losing that to the Yarmouth squad. But I think it was a good showing by all the local teams.
And most of those guys, like Stephen Burt and Pusey Burke and Blair Crum and all those guys, I coached about 75% of the guys are from PEI that were in that tournament. So it brought back fond memories. David Cullen is another one. I didn't see Glenn McKinnon. He's a bad arm. He hasn't pitched since he got hurt here 20 years ago. He's a great pitcher too. So it was a great tournament. And credit to all the boys in the organized staff. And by the way, when I was down at the ballpark, I asked them, I said, where's everybody at? And they said, it's so hot in PEI. I said, we didn't go to the ball game. All the families are on the beach. So you got to love to come to PEI in summertime. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, absolutely. Great action and a lot of great stories told. But make no mistake, everyone that was out on that field, the juices started flowing again, and the competitive nature of being on the diamond. Those guys wanted to win that tournament.
I'd like to see the guys walking around town today. See how many are limping and moaning and groaning. I can guess.
Well worth it, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, we should mention that the junior baseball team, coached by McIsaac and Chris McGregor and your brother Scotty, split the first 2 games with their semifinal with Chatham. Was supposed to play Tuesday night in Chatham, got rained out, pushed back to Wednesday, and then they play Friday night in Charlottetown in Game 4.
There'll be a big crowd here Friday night. Our juniors are pretty good. They're a pretty good team. I've seen them playing 3 or 4 times, but you never know. Chatham is a long, long history. Chatham playing Charlottetown and Frederick can play in Charlottetown. So you just never know. Whoever gets the breaks, whoever's hot that day wins.
Yeah, and at this level, you got to credit the coaching staff for staying with these young men is what they are. A lot of them teenagers in their 20s, going to university, trying to make some money during the summer and save for university and college, trying to rework their work schedules. I haven't seen them with a full bench for most of the season. It was nice to see them there Monday with the majority of their guys there. A guy like Riley Caland joined them midway through the season, an RBI triple. Ryan McIsaac, Dave's son, had a big defensive play, had a couple hits. And Johnny Arsenault, just back from the softball nationals, gives them 7 solid innings. He looked like he was a little bit out of gas there late in the game, but he hung in. He just a battler, just a guy that you'd want to go to battle with, right?
And another guy I'm looking at is young Spencer Miles, young fella. Spencer Miles, he used to pitch for me. Josh, yeah. Tremendous pitcher. Josh is a tremendous player. So he's from up in Tignish, so they're breeding pretty good up there. A lot of good ball players from up in the west end of the province.
Absolutely, and Josh is actually away with the youth selects team at the Nationals this week. Just left, I think, probably yesterday over there in Moncton. So we wish them all the best too. There's a lot of good ball, a lot of good teams away, and it's sort of the culmination for the season for a lot of these guys.
So I'm going to see you Friday night then. Friday night at Memorial Field. Chatham's playing Charlottetown.
I'm sure I'll hear you. That's all the time we have for this week. It's going to be a busy week. We wish everyone all the best. Get out and see some of the harness racing. The Islanders training camp will start here later next week. Maybe we'll talk about that next week, as well as the UPI Panther Soccer is getting ready to kick off their training camp too. So, it's a fun time of the year.
And let's not forget our Island Storm, the pro basketball team. A lot of great signings. We'll talk about that next week.
That's all the time we have for this week. Join us next week.